Hello, my YouTube people. I have a battle here against Fulham, and yeah, you guys know him by now. He is, well, that guy. And we're doing a standard OU match, but both of us are bringing some teams that are a little bit uncommon, although mainly just me. I guess Fulham's bringing a Ditto, which is something you always have to keep in mind when your opponent runs Ditto, is to be very careful to not allow the sweep. So, knowing that he has Ditto, I have to play accordingly. So I lead with Kingdra, he leads with Landorus. In fact, this was the matchup I wanted. Saw that he had Landorus, so it seemed like a good thing to lead with myself, because a lot of people like to lead with Landorus. So I'm just going to go for a Waterfall. He makes a good play, switching into a Amoonguss, which obviously takes my Waterfall pretty nicely, and is also just there, and is walling, and stuff like that. And, yeah. Going to go ahead and switch out now. Do not want to take a Spore. So I got into my Ferrothorn, who, as a grass type, is immune to Spore. He ends up predicting this switch, however, and goes out into his Alakazam, and I'm like, Fulham will never hit with a Focus Blast, right? Except he actually did for once, oh god! Oh well. I do take it, and not extremely well, but I do get the Thunder Wave off, which is why I wanted to stay in. I knew that even if he hit me with Focus Blast, I should be able to live it, due to my awesome defenses, and to get that off, so that's pretty cool. So he's going to go back into Landorus now, as I actually send up a Leech Sheet, predicting a switch, typically kind of into this. No, sorry, I go for the Stealth Rock first, and now I go for the Leech Sheet, as he sets up his own Stealth Rocks. So it's going to get me some HP back. Of course, he is probably just going to go for the U-turn. I decide to stay in. I do have the Rocky Helmet on this particular Ferrothorn, so yeah, I'm going to be able to get some nice damage on this Landorus just by staying in and letting him go for the U-turn on it, which is never poor. So yeah, there's the damage from Iron Barbs and then Rocky Helmet. And he is going to be able to switch out now, and he does go out, I believe, into his Amoonguss again. No, sorry, right back into Alakazam. That makes sense, because obviously he's hoping that he can finish me off. So I go for a Gyro Ball, and that does pretty much nothing. I did get the Intimidate on me earlier, so there's that. As, yeah, I go into my Goodra now, and Goodra is a pretty cool Pokemon. I do have Assault Vest on it. Unfortunately, he does go for the Psyshock, which hits my physical defense instead of my special defense, which is unfortunate because I would have been able to take a special move much better. Oh well, I'm just going to go for a Draco Meteor to take out this Alakazam, but my Goodra has already been crippled, so to speak. Not a very fast Pokemon, and it has some low HP right now. So he goes into Latios, and yeah, I'm just actually going to stay in and just get Psyshock to death. And yeah, at the very least, I'm going to be able to get a safe switch now, so that's a good thing, right? You got to take the good with the bad. So I go into my Snorlax, which is a Pokemon Nihilus is always asking me to use. And yeah, he's just going to go for the Defog as I get off, I believe, a Curse. Probably could have went for the... It's a shame. I probably could have gotten off the Crunch. I'm actually okay with the Defog, because it's going to get away... it's going to, shoo away his hazards as well. So it's really kind of a neutral play there. I guess it does hurt him more than it does me, due to the fact that he is carrying a Talonflame, so yeah. In comes Amoonguss again, and I'm just going to go for the Body Slam. He's probably going to try to Spore me. Now, I do have Rest, but I'm not a Rest Talker, nor do I have the Chesto. As you can see, I do carry Leftovers on my Snorlax. I don't really want, so therefore I really don't want to take the sleep. I mean, even if I was a Rest Talker, you probably wouldn't want to take the sweep, just because the unpredictability of normal sleep. Either way, he goes into Talonflame now as I go into Ferrothorn, and I guess he was predicting this, although I can't imagine that he'd want this matchup, because even if he does Brave Bird me or Flare Blitz, it's still going to hurt him back quite severely. So he goes into Landorus as I just go for a Thunder Wave. I figure if he is setup set, like I don't know the set yet, if it is like one of the bulk up sets, I can try to cripple it with Thunder Wave. But he just goes into Landorus and then kills me with Earthquake. Probably shouldn't have let that happen, but that was kind of a mistake on my part. So he's going to go for an Earthquake against my Kingdra, as I actually just go for the Waterfall, which is fine for me because that means I'm going to be able to tank out the Landorus, which is a big threat gone. He does do some nice damage, though, against my Kingdra, but I know that my Kingdra can still threaten some of his Pokemon later, so I do have Dragon Dance on it as well as Focus Energy, so it is a double setup Kingdra, if you were wondering. So, yeah, in comes the Sludge Bomb, and it's going to do some decent damage, I guess, to my Mega Venusaur. I'm going to go ahead and Mega Evolve. Like I said, he does have one of the biggest threats to Mega Venusaur, and that's Talonflame, so I kind of have to try to play around that. I go for the Sleep Powder, trying to actually hit the Talonflame with the Latios on the switch, because those are the two Pokemon that he has that really counters my Mega Venusaur. Yeah, he ends up playing that really well. He stays in that first turn as I go for the Sleep Powder, and here I just go for the Synthesis to get my HP back. and he uses that opportunity to go into Talonflame. Now, I do have a lot of defense investment on my Venusaur, so I'm actually going to try to stay in and get the sleep powder up, and also kind of hope that maybe he would overpredict. And as you can see, I do survive with 5 HP, and then I miss the sleep powder. Well then, that sucks. I really do not want to lose my Venusaur yet. I'm hoping that it is a banded set, so I just go out into my Zapdos. And as you can see, I do take that pretty nicely, and it does appear to be locked into it because he is going to switch out here. So, thank goodness for small miracles, I suppose. So he switches out the Talonflame, as I believe I just go for a Thunderbolt, in case he wanted to stay in and switch up his move. He goes out into a Amoonguss, which obviously is going to resist my Thunderbolt. I do have Heat Wave on this Zapdos, but I'm not confident it'll do a lot of damage, and I still don't want to take the sleep on my Pokemon. I do still have one of my grass type, my grass type, which obviously is immune to that. And I also have Snorlax, which I guess isn't like, okay, it is kind of the end of the world, because I'm not a Chesto Berry, nor do I actually have the Sleep Talk. But I go into Snorlax anyway. And, yeah, because I don't think he knows that. He's probably thinking that I'm no, he knows I'm not Chesto, because I have the leftovers. But he's probably thinking at the very least I have Sleep Talk. So, either way, I end up getting kind of lucky here, because he gets the poison off the Sludge Bomb, which means he can't sleep me. So, that is actually really nice, because it's going to give me the opportunity here to set up another couple curses. So he's going to go for the Giga Drain just to get damage. The poison isn't really annoying just because of the residual damage, but I do, like I said, have Rest. I'm not a Rest Talker, but I do have Rest, which can get rid of the poison as well as, cure me to full. And that's what I'm kind of thinking right now. Just trying to get a little bit of setup. Maybe I can get a mini sweep here in the middle of the battle. But let's see. And I take the poison damage. In comes another Sludge Bomb, and I believe I rest this turn. No, I curse again. And now I'm going to rest this next turn, hoping that I can, burn a turn of sleep on his switch, and then, burn another turn of sleep, and then maybe hit something really hard if he can't really damage me. I believe he switches out the same turn that I rest, which is actually not great for me, because that means my Snorlax is going to have to survive 2 hits from this thing that comes in. And, yeah, he ends up going into Ditto, which he's going to go ahead and, impostor into me, which means he does copy my boost as well as my form. So he's at +2/+2 as well right now. And that's not great because I am asleep, and I have no real way to counteract that. Now, if I can wake up, then I obviously can get the advantage over this Ditto just by going for another curse. So I decided to stay in. As you can see, Body Slam isn't doing great damage, actually. In fact, I'm taking it pretty nicely. And another thing to realize about this matchup is Snorlax has a lot of HP. Ditto does not copy HP. It's one of the only things it does not copy when it transforms. So I have the advantage in this matchup just because of that, because I have a massive amount of HP, and he actually has very little HP. Ditto does not have very high base HP. So, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wake up in Curse just to get the advantage over that Snorlax, the Ditto Snorlax. And, yeah, obviously the Ditto is Choice Scarfed, like most sweep-stealing Dittos. And, he was locked into Body Slam, so that gives me the upper hand there. Any switch, in comes Amoonguss again. I'm going to go into Mega Venusaur, hoping for the Spore, and I got it, which was excellent. Obviously, that was actually a really crucial prediction there for the both of us that I got correct, because now I'm going to be able to Synthesis. And if he would have went for the Sludge Bomb predicting my Venusaur, obviously I would not. He would have just killed me. And being able to keep Venusaur is a big, big play. So that was a pro prediction on my part. Going back into Zapdos now to take the Brave Bird. I really do not want to lose Mega Venusaur. It does check quite a few things on his team. In fact, it's kind of a cancer matchup right now, which is why I guess you can tell by the video length. This is a very long battle. And part of the reason is we're just trying to outplay the other. Amoonguss and Venusaur really don't have a lot to do to each other, and they both have reliable recovery. And that's basically what we're trying to do right now. We both have sleeping moves, and the battle will really be determined by which one of us can outmaneuver the other and get the crucial sleep or KO on another Pokemon, because this matchup clearly isn't going to do very much. Either way, he goes out into his Talonflame here. This would have been a good opportunity to put it to sleep, but I went for the Synthesis back to full HP. It's not a really poor play anyway, and see how much I took the last one. I'm wondering if it's min-max damage, so I just decided to switch out into Zapdos. Not wanting to risk it, hoping that he'll go for the Brave Bird. It would be somewhat of a problem if he goes for the Flare Blitz. Now he goes for the Roost, which is interesting, because I'm pretty sure this is a banded Talonflame, which means he's locked into Roost. I rarely see that, but I guess it can work to get HP back with Choice Band Talonflame. And as you can see, he does switch out, not able to switch his move, as he goes into Amoonguss to take the Thunderbolt, which is a good play. I was thinking at that point that maybe I'm wrong, maybe it's not banded Talonflame, maybe, I don't know. But no, he just switched out into Amoonguss, and I'm just going to go for the U-turn, just to see if he would switch out himself. And the fact that he does not switch out makes it pretty safe for me just to go out into Venusaur and to hopefully take the Spore, and he does indeed try to go for it, and that doesn't affect Venusaur. One of the changes they made is basically powder moves like Spore and Sleep Powder do not affect grass types. If you're wondering, if you're maybe not into Gen 6 as much, used to the older generation of Pokemon where you could actually use those moves on grass types. In Generation 6, they changed it so grass types are immune to that sort of thing, so that is why my Mega Venusaur is immune as well as my Ferrothorn was, in case you were wondering. So he's going to actually Ditto into my Venusaur, which is fine. He ends up locking himself into Synthesis, I guess pretty much to scout what I would do. This is not a terrible thing for him because his Ditto, while a Venusaur, obviously, I can't put it to sleep with my Sleep Powder. So, yeah, there's that. I'm just going to try, though, to get something asleep on the switch. But he goes right back into Amoonguss, which is a good play. At this point, I'm kind of thinking in the back of my mind, I might have to actually PP stall this Amoonguss. And I think I do have the upper hand, because he's definitely used Sludge Bomb more than me. And if he runs out of Sludge Bombs, obviously, I can kill this thing. Synthesis, for both of us, only has 8 PP. But I think I've actually used it more. So, I actually don't know who would have the upper hand if it came down to that. Either way, I'm just going to keep going for that Sludge Bomb, I guess trying to force him to have to use a Synthesis, and he does the same. And as you can see, it's just going back and forth here right now. Not a whole lot going on. I go for a Sleep Powder, hoping that he'd switch, and he just goes to the Synthesis, so that was a very good play for him. He gets his HP back, as I waste a turn doing nothing. And now I'm going to go ahead and go for the Synthesis to get back my HP, because that's how we roll here. And here comes the Sludge Bomb, and it's going to do damage and stuff. So he's going to go ahead and switch this turn into his Ditto again, which obviously is going to impostor into my Venusaur. Can't sleep that. Just go for the Sludge Bomb, which does damage. And I kind of... So I see that he's going to lock himself into Synthesis here. So I decide to play, make a gambit. I want to make a move here. I know that he's locked into Synthesis, which means he's either going to use it again just to get back to full HP on Ditto, or he's going to switch. So I go into my Kingdra. I'm hoping that he's going to go for that Synthesis, and he does go for it, which is crucial for me right now, because it gives me an opportunity to set up one of my sweeping moves. Now, I decide for Focus Energy, not Dragon Dance, because I don't. If he steals the Dragon Dance with his Ditto, I might actually be pretty much done in this game. So instead, I decide to go for the Focus Energy, and now I'm going to go for the Outrage, hoping to crit this Amoonguss, and I do get the crit on the Amoonguss wings. I'm able to take it out. Now, he's still able to go into Ditto and impostor me, which obviously does copy my speed as well. I have to hope that my Mega Venusaur, like I said, I am physically bulky. I have to hope that I can survive a crit Outrage from this thing. It doesn't have any attack boost, though. Amoonguss, obviously, it wasn't able to. Let's see if Mega Venusaur, and not at full HP, can take a crit Outrage. I'm just going to go ahead and... it does! Oh, thank God! And I get the crucial Sleep Powder on this Kingdra. So, crisis averted. My Gambit paid off, and I did not calc that before. It was all instinct, guys. All instinct. So he goes right back into Talonflame as I just go for the Synthesis to get back my HP. Now here I'm thinking he has to be ready to go for a Flare Blitz at this point. And indeed he does go for it. That was a great prediction on my part to predict Flare Blitz instead of Brave Bird. My ability, Thick Fat, actually as you guys probably know, it's what makes Mega Venusaur good, is its Mega ability is Thick Fat, which means I actually am not weak to fire with Mega Venusaur. It says it's super effective, but I also take less damage due to the Brave Bird. It ultimately cancels out. So that's why Brave Bird does a lot more damage to me than that Flare Blitz, and I'm able to take out the Talonflame thanks to a poison off the Sludge Bomb as well. So he goes into Latios now. This is his last Pokemon, and I go into my Zapdos here. I know that I can't live a Draco Meteor, but I want to force him to use it. I want him to be forced to have to go at -2, because my only last Pokemon other than this Zapdos at this point is my Snorlax. And that Psy Shock will hit my physical defense, as I said earlier. And, yeah, Snorlax obviously does not have good physical defense before I get off a Curse. So that was pretty crucial for me to sack that Zapdos, make him go for that Draco Meteor if he wants to kill me. And yeah, he's going to go ahead and transform into my Snorlax as I go for the Curse, which helps me in two ways. A, it helps me defend against the Psyshock. It's raising my physical defense, so it actually makes me better able to take that Psyshock. But it's also going to help me do more damage. And I just get off the second Curse now. I'm actually probably taking risk here. I probably should be thinking about KOing this Snorlax sooner than later. I don't want it to wake up, really, so... Either way, he's still asleep, though, so I'm just going to do that and set up another curse. And now I'm just going to come to my senses and try to finish this thing off. And, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and go for the Body Slam this turn, which will actually completely murder this Ditto due to its lower HP. Not to mention it has no defense buffs. It did not get to steal a curse coming in, so that is a dead Ditto. And, yeah, its last Pokemon is Latios, and it's Life Orbed, as we know. And, yeah, looking at the damage it does, I'm just going to, maybe a slight spoiler here, I don't even think a crit Draco Meteor would be able to take out this Snorlax, which is obviously EV'd, special defensively, being that it's a cursor. Look at that damage, it does less than half. I would be able to take a curse, in fact, or a crit one of those. In fact, I think I could have taken, you know, a Gen 5 and previous crit, a double damage crit, because Gen 6 crits are not double, they're X 1.5. Either way, that's a nice game there, Fulham. Thanks for the match. And today's question of the day is, what is your favorite of the newly revealed Z moves? Obviously, we don't know all of them yet, being that Gen 7 is not officially released. But we know a lot of these Z moves have been revealed, and my favorite is Pulverizing Pancake. That's all that needs to be said. It's Snorlax special move, Z move, and it is absolutely hilarious. Here, I'll just play it. Just a legitimately funny move. Now you can, whatever one it is, you can say it's because of the effect of the move, or if just the flavor of the move, and it is just so funny. I literally cannot stop watching it. It's mesmerizing. Anyway, leave a comment about that, and see you guys next time. Later.